I don't take it for granted again that we'd have Louis and Shelley Giglio here with us at conference. And Louis, of course, from the Passion Movement, a college movement that reaches tens, hundreds of thousands of college kids in America. And they're innovative, they do powerful things, they have recording albums, they literally have relationships with people like Chris Tomlin that have been lasting and have been such a blessing. And they are great to us. They're just so beautiful to work with between Hillsong and Passion. And, it's just such a good flow of working together. And Louis is one of the greats when it comes to communicating the things of God. I think you know that. And I reckon we should give him the biggest, warmest welcome as he comes to share. Amen.
Thank you, Brian. You can be seated, thank you. We're kind of coming around the other half of the other night, so let me jump into that. Just like to remind us where we left off. We left off with this phrase, how great is our God? Could you just say that with me? How great is our God? Now, we didn't say that today to remind him that he's great. He didn't have a boost of confidence when we just said that or sung that. He wasn't dipping down, and then when we sang it again, he went, yeah, that's right. Come on with it. I am great after all. No, he's never had an iota of self-doubt. Because there's no self in him, there's just God in him, and he's never doubted God. He knows who he is. That's one of the requirements of being God. If you don't know who you are, then you're not God, because God knows everything. And if you were God and didn't know you were God, you wouldn't know everything. And so if you didn't know everything, you couldn't be God. Because to be God, you got to know everything. And one of the things you know when you're God is that you're God. That's so cool. To be God, you have to know that you're God. And if you know that you're God, you are good all the time, forever and ever, until the end of time. You are God, and you know it. Wouldn't that be cool to be God and to know it? Some of you think you're God, but you're not. And that's why you're not God. So there's a liar, right? How many of you believe that? How many believe that he lies to you? Let's just keep him up for a bit. If you believe it, you don't have to put him up if you don't. How many think you've ever heard him lying to you? How many heard him lying to you today? How many he's already kind of tried to get something going today with you? Try to remind you about something in your past, tell you about something in your future. He's already tried to come after you. And so in the midst of this liar, there's this symphony of worship, which is pretty stunning, right? And God is inviting our voices to be in it through the person of Jesus Christ. Our voice is in God's symphony. Now that's cool on the good days. But what about the bad days? That makes sense in the light, but what about the dark? I'm reminded of this Psalm 63. Do you know this psalm? The psalmist opens with, he says, "Oh God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you." Where? Where is he seeking him? In a dry and weary land where there is no water. He said, "Oh God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My body longs for you in a dry and weary land where there is no water." So there's a place in life where we get to where it's dry. There's a place in life where we get to where it's the desert, where it's weary, where it's draining, where it's dark, where it's intimidating, where it's challenging, where we're not sure exactly what's going on. There's a place like that in life. The psalmist went there. And in that place, he said, "Oh God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My body longs for you," right here in this place in life. Not just in the easy places in life, but in the hard place of life. Not just in the I understand it all place in life, but in the I don't understand any of it place of life. Worship is still the weapon of choice in that moment. I want you to look what he says as he goes on now that he's established for us that he's in a tough spot and in a dry and weary land. He said he's remembering now, I've seen you in the sanctuary. I've beheld your power and glory. So he's reminding himself, where he's not reminding God that God has power and glory, he's reminding himself that God has power and glory. He said, I'm in a dry and weary land, but I have seen you in the sanctuary. I've seen you in your sanctuary. I've beheld your power and glory. And then he gets defiant. Don't you love it when in worship you can get defiant? Some of worship is quiet and adorational and polite and even reverent. But sometimes in worship you just get mad as heck and you just get defiant and your worship rises up like a sword of warfare. And that's what I feel is going on in David's heart. He says, I've seen you in the sanctuary. I beheld your power and glory. And then listen to his statement, in the dry and weary land. He says, because your love is better than life. What? My lips will glorify you. That's in the dry and weary land. And he goes on to say, I will praise you as long as I live, and in your name I will lift up my hands. Can I just say something about this place? Is this not the most amazing incubator of worship that you ever get to be in this place right here? Is it just not incredible? I love it so much. And you know, I don't know what world you live in. Maybe your coworkers don't know where you are this week, or some of your family's not really even sure about it. Like, where are you going again? Sydney, what are you doing there? It's a conference. What kind of conference is it? That's what you want at the end of your conference, by the way. You want to, just come with me next year. You know, you're not sure exactly how to unpack all this to the guy in the cubicle next to you, or the classmate on the row next to you, or the kids that you're going to the movie with this weekend, or whatever, because it's just, you just like, Jesus, God, power, come see. But if you had any doubt, I just want to kind of put this out there as a footnote. If you had any doubt, like one of your friends would think you were crazy if they came in here and saw what's going on in here. See, the enemy tricks us into all kind of nuts stuff. Like, you know, the world thinks y'all are crazy. I mean, if they came in here and saw all y'all like, that your neighbors have never seen you do that before. Your boss is like, some of you, it's your husband or your wife, they're not here and you're like, yeah, I'm going to the thing again. And they're like, what is that? And they think it's crazy. I want to tell you, what we're doing in here is not crazy. Now, hang on. What we're doing in here is human. Because human beings are created to worship God, and that's what human beings do all day long, every day on planet Earth. That's what human beings do. So when the psalmist said, I'll praise you as long as I live, and in your name I will lift up my hands, that's not a weird thing. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but we're going around the world via this live stream, and I know we got all these different denominations and all these different streams of the church, and you know, I just want to say this out loud, not that anyone here needs it, but for some people looking in, that lifting our hands, that doesn't belong to one denomination. And I know there's at least a few people here, and this is new for you, and please just hang on with me for a second. Or maybe you took a risk this time and said, we're really not in that stream, but we're going to come anyway because we love some of the speakers, or